Okay. Yeah, you're so funny. Okay, I'm starting, she said. I'm
Yep.
starting. So welcome everybody. It's Dana and Debbie and we're having a conversation and we're on a series of spirituality and so we just decided just not too long ago that we're going to talk about empathy and how empathy plays into our personal spiritual walk. And everybody has their own personal spiritual walk.
Yes.
And however that is for you, or however your life walk is for you, kudos to you.
Yes.
And so we're just sharing ours and having various topics. And so we're welcoming you also to share
Please.
topics or what you would like, a yes or no on. And there may be things that come up that Dana and I don't always agree on, and that's okay because we learn from each other. And, we're all students at some point in our lives, and we're students at some points in our life.
I feel like especially these days, I'm a student all the time. I'm learning a lot in this past few years.
Yeah.
I'm learning about me, and I'm learning about, I think the pandemic really opened that up to see how some of us didn't realize how hard it was going to be, or the traumatic of, because we didn't know what was going to happen.
Right.
This was, when it first came. So yeah, I feel like I'm really learning a lot.
And for me as an introvert, that was a really nice time for me. and I had a heart attack. And so I was being very mindful and very careful
Yes.
about how I was socializing and all the things. And I remember one time a brother wanting to come up and spend time. And I said, well, you can sleep in the tent. And he thought I was kidding. And I wasn't. And so that led to some discussions. But, we all have different times in our life that are pinpoints of recognition and maybe shift in our life.
Yep.
And I think empathy is something that I think our world is being very recognizing the power and how important it is for us as human beings in our neighborhoods, in our families, in our country, in our world, how important it is that we both feel we're spiritual beings in a human body, and how what we can do to another person is a very powerful thing. It can be very compassionate and loving, or it could be very hurtful. And all of that is energy, and it makes a huge impact whether we recognize it or not. It is.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even just when you're walking, like I have a scene in my head where they're bustling in the city or whatever, and a lot of people will have their headphones on, or there's not that smile and that
recognition.
Yeah, and if you're not approachable, and I've been that way. I've been like, don't talk to me, don't, everybody goes through that. But I also think it's very important to,
I'm going to just turn this a little bit,
sure.
Get a little bit more of you. Okay.
I think that if a smile reciprocates a smile,
right?
I just do.
Or if they're having a bad day, they might grumble at you.
Can I tell you a little story?
I love it. We love it when she tells us little stories.
And this, I might get teary-eyed from it. So a couple weeks ago, I've been going through a weight loss journey, and a couple weeks ago, I decided I needed to start getting rid of some of my bigger clothes, and I put them on Marketplace. And this woman happened to be a cute little denim vest, and we were going to meet at a parking lot of someplace in town. And I got there. The place that we were met kind of has two parking lots, and we obviously had parked at two different. She was on one side and I was on the other. And so I said, I'm here. I'm in a white van, blah, blah, blah. And so she comes, and when I got out of the car and I walked around, she was crying. And I was like, are you okay? Are you, you know what? And she said, she was on the phone. She just got a text from her sister, and her sister was dying. She was just, and she was at a lot. It was shock. It was the shock
In that moment.
in that, literally
Wow.
in that moment. And I just said, can I hug you? And she looked at me and she said, yeah. Like, it was shocking to her that I would even suggest it, but she was received. And I'm not to pat myself on the shoulder, but I'm kind of a good hugger. I hug. I don't lightly, I hug. And so I hugged her for probably a good solid minute. And she was still in the car when I was doing it, and we exchanged the money and the whatever. And I just said, well, I hope that, you're able to get down there before she actually dies. And she didn't know if her and her husband were going to drive, yada, yada, yada. And then we left, and I went home, and I couldn't get her out of my head. And I thought, she doesn't know who I am. That'd be weird if I reach out, because when you sell things on Marketplace, you
do have that connection.
you have you have a conversation
okay.
thingy that you can either delete or keep.
Okay.
And the next day, she messaged me, and she said, I just want you to know, thank you for the hug. I really felt it. I really felt it. A stranger.
Yeah.
That's
and
all
it
it
was
took.
a minute of that.
Yeah.
And that was a heart connection for both of you.
100%.
Mhm.
100%.
Mhm.
I hope that I run into her again someday. She lives in a town, but not too far away. And I live on a lake, and all the little towns are kind of,
Mhm.
I consider us one big community, even though
Mhm.
they have separate. But just that small 1 minute out of, that's empathy.
Life.
Yeah, out of
Mhm.
life.
Mm-hmm.
And we could all use that.
Mm-hmm.
We could all use that hug and connection.
And some people, it's like they're afraid to ask, and she would never have asked you.
No. In fact, she didn't have the correct change, and I said, you know what? Here, you can just have it. And she, no. I mean, she was so adamant, and she ended up paying me more.
Okay.
So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it just, it was just a really sweet moment.
Wow. And
a sweet moment.
What a great story. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Very cool. So what an example for us to just keep in mind, you know, we can have those random moments that might come into, and it's kind of cool because we have Dana's example in her story, and it prepares us so that if we ever are in a situation like that now, we have this as a reference and we can use it in moving forward to offer for
it was
someone else.
important for me. I think it was a learning for me, because before I would have automatically just hugged somebody.
Oh,
but I asked. Not all people want to be touched by,
absolutely.
so you might want to ask first. But yeah, it was very touching.
Mm-hmm.
It was very touching.
Pardon the pun. Couldn't help it. Okay.
No, I like that.
Yeah. And so this is where we're seeing in our world how important it is for us to show caring for other people, to share empathy. It is a superpower. I believe empathy is a superpower, and it raises people up.
Yes.
It doesn't put people down and sink them lower. And so when there's someone that is believing in us, or just giving us a thumbs up, or is there anything you need help with, or they're seeing us and they're recognizing us and they're offering and they're holding space with us. That isn't putting us down, that isn't making us feel less than. And that is empowering.
Yes.
It's empowering for us as the giver, and it's empowering for them as the receiver. And that is incredible.
I think, again, I can only speak for myself. And this isn't really empathy related, but it's related to the what a small gesture can do.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been the recipient of someone buying a cup of coffee that's in line, in front of you in line? Have you ever done? Or have you ever purchased a coffee for somebody in
Oh yeah,
or anything?
I've purchased for the people behind me.
When you have no idea what that small gesture does to, they might be having the crappiest day in the their lifetime, and that might turn around the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
The whole day.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, and we have the sweetest little ice cream place just down the street, and a family runs it in the summertime, and they had a customer donate a wad of money, and they wanted them every day to give somebody a free ice cream. And how sweet is that? An ice cream cone, how sweet. And so I was trudging up, and there was a young mom behind me with a little kid that was, a ways back, and the owner had seen me and smiling, and, oh, hi, Deb, guess what? And I said, what? And he says, it's 4:00. And I said, okay. And he said, my wife and I talked, and the first person at 4:00 that came in was going to get a free ice cream. And I said, well, I brought extra money because I wanted you to put it in that pot so it could still be growing. And I said, I'll just take a little ice cream, but give her with the little one behind me the ice cream. And it was just to be a part of all of that giving, and how excited he was, and seeing me up, and he knew what he was going to offer me, but then I could turn it around and I could offer it back, and just how the ripple, we drop a stone in, that couple dropped a stone in, and it rippled, and it touched countless of lives with an ice cream cone.
With an ice cream cone.
Yeah.
And who doesn't love ice cream?
Well, and it's just it's the little things that can make the biggest impacts.
Truly.
And showing that empathy. I remember one time having to go up and have some medical procedure done, and the doctor I had years and years ago when I was going through some really hard things, and anyway, he came in from behind, and he just had his hand on my shoulder and just kind of swooped it around as he was coming around me. And I still to this day remember that hand on my shoulder. And
was it like a jolt almost? Like
it was comforting.
Energy?
It was a very soothing, comforting energy. And I said, well, hi, Dr. So-and-so. I don't know if you remember me. And he said, of course I remember you, Deb. And because he had gone through a lot of stuff with me, but it was just that touch. I still remember that touch.
Yeah. Touch is so important.
Yeah.
I can still, this is going to be weird. If I close my eyes, and I do this now and then, and I think back of when, especially my firstborn, because your firstborn, I love both my kids equally, but your firstborn, it's something special because it's your first baby.
Mm-hmm.
And he had the softest skin, baby skin. And I will sometimes close my eyes and remember him as a baby, and I can feel his skin. And I know that sounds weird, but it's that connection.
Mm-hmm.
It's that connect. And there's a lot of people who don't get that contact.
Yeah. And I work, as many of you know, I work with energy work, and I was back in 1990 got my massage therapy certification and all. And one of two of us in the whole area that was doing massage at the time, because nobody had heard of it other than flashing red light mentality, and I wasn't that. But how important it is, and how I work with women today on just the healing power of touch.
Yeah.
And what that can do, as far, because I used to do a lot of deep body work, and hours at a time, be working on people and really getting in there. And then when my back went out, I couldn't do that anymore. And now in working with lighter touch and energy, and how powerful that time is in releasing, because there's stuff that's released, but then it's getting filled back up again. But just the touch, or the touch at the top of the head, and it's just like my last client before you came, and she goes, whoa, there's a lot of energy moving on in there. And I said there was a lot of clearing, but then there was just this wonderful healing energy that was
Yeah.
present. And
Yeah.
I love it. And we all need to be able to fill ourselves
Yes.
up.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's okay to have somebody else do that for us.
Yes. I was just going to say, if you can afford it, because I know that it's expensive, you should have a massage done. If you're in the area,
And I don't really do massage anymore.
No.
I do more with the healing touch. So I do face and I do hands and I do feet and I do energy work. I do clearing. If you have
Yep.
energy centers that are closed, I do energy work that can help open that.
Yeah.
And so it's and to me it's more of a ministry spiritual path that I'm on. And
that's why you have repeat business.
I was just thinking over how many different life situations I've been able to be a part of in women's lives through the years.
Yeah.
And some really, really hard,
Yeah.
suicides and
Yeah.
tragic accidents and terminal illnesses and divorces and lots of things I've been able to help people cross over.
Yeah.
Or
And it works.
Yeah.
It works.
I and it's not me, I'm the middle person, or I'm
well, it is you in the fact that you are
Present.
open.
yeah,
That's a huge, I have not had training in that. I would not have the same. You would, if I were to do that to you, you would not have the same.
I think it's all heart, and I think
Yeah.
it could very well be Dana. I think all of us have that ability if we choose to open ourselves up to it. I believe that.
Yeah.
But that's part of what empathy is. You have to be an empathetic person in order to be able to do this or receive it.
Yep.
In a
And
way.
do you think we're born with empathy? Do you think it's taught?
Oh, it is definitely
Taught?
taught in how, from the minute we're born. Some babies aren't loved
Touched.
and received
Yes,
and touched,
yes,
and it's
yeah.
just like
Yeah.
immediately they feel that. I do think that we have roles and purposes when we're put here on earth.
Yes.
And even with the hard people that we have a hard time dealing with, they're still our teachers and they're still teaching us things.
Yeah.
And some of our hardest situations that we may be in right now or that we have lived through have been not easy.
Yes.
But the inner strength and the community and the alliances that are brought forward to bring people up and be strong and courageous and bring that wisdom forward, it's just amazing. But sometimes, if it's all smooth sailing, none of these virtues are brought up and forward.
I'm glad you said that.
Okay.
That people who don't have to go through difficult
Mm-hmm.
things, money related or home related, that kind of thing, they haven't been taught.
But there's also people, and I know people that have just been gifted an incredibly, what I would view as a pretty easy life.
Yeah.
And they haven't had a lot of tragedies or difficult things, but they are the most loving and gracious and giving. And it's just part of, some people say, well, that's just their personality. Maybe so. But how they have been is amazing.
So it's funny you say, because I thought you were going in a different direction there.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say someone who had not gone through, because it does build you to go through
Mm-hmm.
something horrific or tragedy or things
Absolutely.
like hard things are learning lessons
Yes.
in life. I have two relatives that it's not that they haven't been through hard stuff. Well, one of them, a close relative who was on a couple pedestals and could do no wrong, and he's lost as an adult. He's totally lost. He can't hold a job because everybody was doing everything for him. He just, so you're 100% correct in the fact that how you are molded as a child can also create. I don't think he has empathy for anybody either, in that it is taught.
Mm.
But I do believe it.
No, I think it could be an innate part of us, though, too.
Yes, I was just going to say,
Because I
if it's nurtured, especially.
oh yeah,
If it's not nurtured, it's tougher to come out.
Mhm.
And from what I've witnessed.
well, and I just see someone that displays no empathy whatsoever, and immediately wonder what their childhood was
Yes,
like, and
yes.
what was lacking in their childhood to have them be
Yeah.
the bully, to
Yeah.
have them be the mean person to pick on, and can never do
Yep.
anything, that you're always right and everybody else is wrong. And there are people like that out there, and it's just like, what was that person's
Yeah.
childhood
Yeah.
like? Because there's a root to that somewhere, but it's probably part of their path in life too, as far as the impacts that are made, because we all impact each other. We all
100%. Yeah.
all with all the good stuff and all the crap.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah.
all those ebb and flows in life.
And sometimes
Yep.
you have to do this so that you're not carrying all of that
Mhm.
stuff on you. Yeah.
And take deep breaths and go
Yeah.
outside
And go outside.
and be in nature
Yeah.
and breathe, or talk to a tree.
Yeah.
All the good things.
I know
like
that sounds weird, but I'm telling you, go
Mhm.
out and talk to a tree. And you'll see what I mean.
We had
But
that
be-
on our last talk.
Yeah.
So
And be open to it. Be open to it.
yeah, I mean, we're just being our weird selves here, and we love it. So you can take
Yeah.
us with a grain of salt too, and that's okay. That's just
Big,
fine.
for me, big grain of salt.
Oh, stop it! Not. So let us know any 2 cents or $10 bills you want to just throw in, as far as not real money.
Not
I mean,
money.
No,
No.
but what's your 2 cents worth, as far as
Yeah.
what are you getting anything out of these conversations?
Or do you have questions? Questions of how we come up with our beliefs, our way of thinking, I think, too.
Sure.
That's how I think you guys and I have become closer is learning where we're coming from, what our past is, and
Mhm.
how we've, related to different things. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. And so we're glad that you're here. Thank
Yeah.
you. And until next time, you have a great week.
Have
Okay.
a great week.
And it's Halloween. Oh, Dana.
I have to show.
Yes. It's the coolest thing.
And it's true. Let's see, can you read it?
I think so, but I'll read it. Just took a DNA test. Turns out I'm 100% that witch.
On that note.
On that note, okay, friends, peace and have a great week.
We love you guys.
All right, bye for now.
Bye.